A peaceful death and a healthy grief journey are the overwhelming goals, I think, for everybody involved in end-of-life care. And it's going to look very different for each patient and family. So that's where asking them what their goals are, what their expectations are. And again, these are conversations that oftentimes people haven't had.
We never talked about death or dying. Even in the middle of all of his cancer treatment, Jimmy, when I would ask him something, he would just ignore the subject and say, I am going back to work.
Most times a hospice consult or a nursing home placement or a placement outside of the home comes as a surprise to families. They're caught off guard, they're not prepared. So that's where, if families are able to have those end-of-life conversations before the time comes, you can start addressing some of these things early on, or at least knowing what your loved one's preferences are.
We scheduled a conference call with Jimmy in the room and talked about, these are our options. All four of us came to the decision that we needed something different. What was the most important to Jimmy was people that would banter, and he could feel the compassion, even not for him, but for others. And the hugs and the oh hi, and not being a number.
You need to involve any stakeholders in your decision-making process, people that you consider important when you're making decisions.
We got the call on July 6th that they had a bed at Clarehouse. And it was like, I'm not ready. I didn't know that was the last time we were going to sleep together in our bed, or the last time I was going to waltz him to our bathroom, or just denial.
Grief, those feelings of sadness, start from the moment that they find the lump, that they get the diagnosis, that the scan comes back. Their world is forever changed. There's sadness, there's guilt, there's anger, there's remorse, there's relief.
I accepted it. Looking back, it was absolutely the best thing I could have done for Jimmy, for me, and for our children.
We know when we have a patient that's at Clarehouse, it's going to be a good experience for all of us. What Clarehouse offers to people beyond a structure for them to be in is that feeling of peace and of being comforted in an environment that anticipates what you're going to be needing and has it there.
It allowed us time and space and grieving areas and talking areas. And one day my daughter came in and cooked a meal for the entire house.
I know of no other place that offers what Clarehouse offers, and it's incredibly difficult to explain Clarehouse. When you walk in the door, it's an overwhelming feeling of peace and of quiet and of being centered.
The ambiance here and the ability of the kids to come, and I've got so many pictures of him holding babies on his lap in that recliner that was his at the house. We got to bring those things. We got to make it home. Everyone's journey is different. You cry, you scream, you laugh, you hug.
I believe moving towards your grief is important. You have to move through it to heal from it. And moving closer to it may happen with a family member, a loved one, a church family, or a professional like a counselor or a therapist.
You find those people that you can rely on.
It is important to help families to kind of project ahead. So posing those situations, you know, in 6 months from now, is there anything that you're going to wish you would have said or shared?
You always wonder, did I do enough? Did I do Jimmy's wishes? Did I spend the time I needed to with him, trying to balance family, work, him? I think if anybody goes through this and says they don't have regret, that they probably are not being honest with themselves. But the other thing I've learned is that the regrets are just part of the package, the journey, and you have to be okay with those. And if you ever have to do this again, it might make it easier. Learn from the things that made it hard. Do things. I've always wanted a convertible, and so today I am driving a convertible. Life can change on a dime. You never know that later is going to be here. So I think that's what's changed, is to enjoy every piece and to pass on what others have given to you.